invite Shri Sunil ji, let me give you a brief bio about Shri Sunil. Mr. B. Sunil Chandra Reddy is presently the managing partner of Sunil Constructions. He has over 30 years experience in the construction industry, having completed several residential and commercial projects. Mr. Sunil is immediate past president of NAREDCO in Telangana, and NAREDCO, as you know, actively contributes to the common good of the builder and the developer community. He completed his bachelor's in commerce and master's in business administration, although I see that he's an institution by himself for the current generation, isn't it, sir? Mr. Sunil joined his family business and has been taking the business in the construction sector to the next level. On the philanthropic side, he's also associated with an NGO called Project 511 in this part of the world. And what I also know is he's a voracious reader and a very good tennis player. All in all, a very fun-loving person. Please put your hands together for Shri Sunil. Over to you.
My very dear friend Rajesh, my extremely successful younger brother Venkateshwarlu Garu, the ever charming Manish, and all the beautiful people sitting here. Rajesh called me the other day. He said, you have to come and talk about real estate and what are the problems in the real estate. Why are we going through all this? REPA, it was a seed then. Today it has grown into a fantastic, beautiful tree. I think that deserves a round of applause to both the gentlemen and the entire team sitting here. Let's come to real estate. Let me tell you, everybody sitting here is in some way or the other associated with real estate. Either you own a flat, you own a piece of property in your village or your town. So all of us are interested in real estate in some way or the other. Let me tell you where India is, where Telangana is, and then we will think about the problems that we are going through. Firstly, I might sound a little boring because a lot of these statistics you know, but I'd just like to reiterate this one more time, just so that you know where India is, where we are headed, where Telangana is. To start with, let me tell you, according to a PricewaterhouseCoopers report, India is going to be the largest economy with the highest GDP by year 2060. The way we are growing at about 6.5%, 7%. So India, according to a PricewaterhouseCoopers report, in 2060, we will be number one, ahead of USA and China. So I think that's a very interesting statistic. So where would we be in, let's say, 2047? Modi ji has set a very ambitious target of Viksit Bharat. He wants us to be a developed nation by 2047. His target is India should be a $30 trillion economy. And real estate alone will be contributing $5 trillion by 2047, which is not too far away, which is only 22 years from now. Right now, the entire size of the Indian economy, the entire size, not just limited to real estate, the size of the Indian economy is about $4 trillion. So if you put things in perspective, we will be $30 trillion in 22 years from now, and real estate alone will be contributing about $5 trillion. So look at the enormous opportunities for whether it's plots or villas or residential housing or commercial housing or data centers, warehousing, what have you, hospitals, malls, multiplexes. So we are now in a great country with great opportunities. Now let's come to Telangana. Telangana, as you've seen, we've been very, very lucky to have the kind of leaders we have had over the last 30 years. Starting with Chandrababu Naidu Garu, to Rajshekar Reddy Garu, to KCR Garu, to the present dispensation. I think we've been extremely fortunate to have these people and the way they have developed this city and the state. Now, what is Hyderabad or what is Telangana? Telangana is the fourth largest contributor to the Indian economy. Even though it's a small state in size compared to some of the bigger states like UP or MP or Bihar, we are a small state in size, but we are the fourth largest contributor to the Indian economy. We have the highest per capita income. Telangana has the highest per capita income in the country. Of course, I think Sikkim has slightly higher per capita income, but they are a small state. If you take the medium and the large states, we have the highest per capita income in Telangana. We have the highest consumption of electricity in Telangana. We have the highest operational SEZs in Telangana. We have 30 SEZs, operational SEZs. We are the bulk drug capital of India. 40% of all bulk drugs manufactured in this country come from Telangana. 50% of all exports of bulk drugs come from Telangana. When it comes to life sciences, your vaccines, Telangana. Why am I talking so much about Telangana? Because everything contributes directly or indirectly to real estate. So, of course, all of us know what IT is doing to this state. 23, 22, 23, the IT exports from Hyderabad was about 2.4 lakh crores. Every year, they are generating 1.5 lakh new jobs. 1.5 lakh new jobs means more demand for your residential houses, your commercial spaces. By the way, we had the highest absorption of commercial space last year, 12.3 million square feet. So once you have more commercial leasing, you have more residential homes being taken, obviously there is going to be more demand for your hospitals, for your schools, for your colleges, for your malls, for your multiplexes. And what do you have here? You have an economy which is, in the long term, it's going to do extraordinarily well. I will quote 2 or 3 international associations who have spoken highly about Hyderabad and Telangana. Sevils is a very reputed international organization. Sevils has said Hyderabad will be one of the 15 fastest growing cities in the world by the year 2030. 5 years from now, they surveyed 230 cities across the world, and they said Hyderabad will be amongst the top 15 fastest growing cities in the world. Let me also talk about Mercer. Mercer is another agency which rates cities. They rate close to 450 cities across the world. They rate cities based on 39 different parameters. The law and order in the city, the education in the city, the healthcare in the city. So there are 39 different parameters. And Hyderabad has been voted as the most livable city in the country for the 6th year running. 6 consecutive years. So this is not some past president of a builders association talking, or a builder who loves Hyderabad and who wants real estate to do very well. These are international agencies which are validating this great city and this great state. Now, what does Oxford Economics tell you? Oxford Economics is a very, very reputed international agency. Oxford Economics says by 2035, Hyderabad will be the 4th fastest growing city in the world, with a city GDP of more than $200 billion. City GDP, not state GDP. So this is all that is happening in this beautiful city. Not only agencies, even these GCCs, Global Capability Centers. we should be proud that there are 1950 GCCs in India and there are 355 GCCs as we speak in Hyderabad. These GCCs in Hyderabad provide 3 lakh jobs. And every year they are adding 20% to their workforce. So this year they are going to be adding another 60,000 people to their workforce. When I talk economics, when I talk employment, when I talk numbers, that means there is an automatic demand need for real estate. Now what has this government done? This government has taken up, has got the clearance for the regional ring road. Mammoth effort, north part of regional ring road and southern part of regional ring road, there were issues. Revanth Reddy Garu along with his team went to Delhi, sat with Nitin Gadkari ji, got the clearances and ensured that one part of it is funded by NHAI. So we are going to have a triple R, we are going to have a fourth city or a future city which will be coming up on 30,000 acres. We are going to have a fantastic Musi riverfront development, 56 kilometers riverfront. We are going to have very good metro rail expansion. All of you have seen whenever the metro gets expanded, there is automatic escalation in the prices and also demand for housing or commercial spaces. The government is also talking about a very, very robust 2050 master plan where they want to have lot of green zones, lot of development zones, lot of manufacturing zones. So the government is also coming out with a master plan 2050. The government is also looking at developing several industrial clusters spread over 2,000, 3,000 acres. They do not want a large mega industrial cluster of 30,000 acres, which is the reason why they have scrapped the pharma city or they have put it on hold. They are now looking at industrial clusters across the state, which will create more employment across the state. So, lot of these things the government is giving importance to. Of course, law and order, as we all know, it is amongst the best in the country. And law and order is absolutely essential for any investor from either India or across the globe to come and invest in your city or state. So, I think lot is happening in our city and our state. Now, obviously, there are going to be problems. Another 5 minutes, Rajesh. Every asset class, whether it is gold, whether it is stock markets, whether it is real estate, they are cyclical in nature. Obviously, if all assets were booming at all times, then there will be no pain or no agony for any of us. Obviously, in 1850, Karl Marx started speaking about cyclical nature of assets, almost close to 175 years ago. Of course, those days, the up cycle and the down cycle were almost similar. If the up cycle was 4 years, the down cycle used to be 4 years. Now, gradually, as economies have developed, as more wealth has got created, the up cycle is much longer than the down cycle. If you take our own Telangana, we've had a great run since 2016. After the new government was formed, after stability was established, from 2016 right up to 2023 December, for 7 years we had a great bull run in this city. Now my take on this is, we had 2 back-to-back elections, both state and parliament elections. Lot of liquidity got sucked out. The market also needed a reason to slow down. You can't keep running all the time. We as humans also can't keep running all the time. Obviously, we need to take a break. Similarly, the market, which was on a high all the time, needed a reason to slow down. And yes, the reason came in the form of two back-to-back elections, and then for the government to come in and establish their policies, their thought process. Of course, Hydra was another issue which really pulled back our market. When Hydra came, it was a great concept to protect all lakes, but unfortunately, the way they took it forward was very sad. When they started, they said we will demolish all buildings in FTL and buffer zone, even if you have permissions. Then 2 months later, they said, if you have permissions, we will not touch you. Come December of 2024, they said, even if you don't have permissions, if it is built prior to June 2024, we will not touch you. So this was the way the policy got diluted, but then it took a huge beating on the markets. Any project which is half a kilometer away from a lake also, the customer said, please bring us an NOC from Hydra. Hydra does not have the powers to give you an NOC. So we've had some issues. Unfortunately, like rest of the country, Hyderabad also has taken a downturn for the last 15 months, 16 months. Now, when will we come out? Obviously, it is going to take a little more time before we start seeing the light of the day. Now, how do we address these issues? The first thing for us, all of us to accept is, yes, there is a problem. We cannot be like an ostrich, put our head in the sand and say there is no problem. There is a problem. Now, how do we overcome these problems? My general, what I love to quote is, tough times do not last forever, but tough men last forever. And I see a whole bunch of handsome men and very beautiful ladies sitting here who will come out, who know how to come out, who will navigate through this process. But of course, now we have some issues, cash flows issues, sales issues, regulatory issues, all of them will be there. So my request is, at these difficult times, when you start a project, please jot down all the issues that you might face. The legal issues, the marketing issues, the financing issues, the regulatory issues. Once you know, that doesn't mean you're not going to launch new projects, or if you're working in a large corporate, that doesn't mean your company is not going to launch new projects. You will launch projects. But before you start the projects, the days of the pre-sales are, I think, almost done. In a boom market, you will have investors who will buy from you, who will buy in pre-sales with the hope that things will go up. But in a bad market, you will not have too many investors who will be prepared to take that risk. So my request is, when you start a project, jot down all the problems so that you are ready if problems hit you. Also make sure that you write down all the risks, because once you know what risk you might be facing, I think 95% of the time you will be ready to face it when it hits you. Of course, if there is a black swan event like a COVID or a financial markets collapse in 2008 in like Lehman Brothers, it might be a little beyond us. But I think once you know what risk you are getting into, you should be good. Also, look at your costing. In a booming market, you can keep spending whatever you want because money keeps coming easier. But in a tough market, ensure that you cut down on your costs. Also, please communicate with all the stakeholders that are involved. Please tell them, yes, there is a problem. Talk to your landlords, talk to your purchasers, talk to your landowners, talk to your bankers, talk to everybody. Tell them, yes, there is a problem, there is a slowdown in the market. I might not be able to hand over by 27 June. I might need 6 more months. They might come out with some solutions. They might come out with support. They might come out with some financing options which might be cheaper than the financial options you are now facing. Also, this is a good time to ensure that you cut the inefficient staff out of your system, ensure that you have efficient people working for you, cut out the inefficient guys, tell them sorry, I can't take your burden anymore. Come out with innovative strategies. Obviously all of us know that you need to, your after sales are excellent. You try and under promise and over deliver. Sometimes we have this issue of, most developers have this issue of, over delivering and over promising and under delivering. Please ensure that you under promise and over deliver, and make sure that everybody in the system knows that there is a problem and you are ready to face it. You are strong enough to face it, and you will ensure that you will hand over on time. Also, technology is now so robust. Take advantage of technology. You have artificial intelligence, you have virtual reality, augmented reality, which costs a lot less than the conventional modes of advertising. So obviously all of you know better, and once again, thanks Prasad Garu and Rajesh Garu. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Manish.
Thank you.
So yes, 10 to 12 minutes he was telling about only positives of the real estate and city potential, and I think only just 2 to 3 minutes on the challenges. So he's like a person who always looks on the what do you call. You don't want to look the black spots on the moon. He only looks at the moon. So that is a great. As a promoters, definitely, I think you need to have a positive approach. And as he rightly said, nothing tough times don't last forever. Tough men last. So as he pointed out, 3-4 points. Definitely, one is like I think the finance, especially, was very easy, especially when the market was good, especially pre-launch. I think a lot of people succeeded because of the pre-launch. Otherwise, how this equity was flowing, no promoters were having this kind of equity ever before. Just because of the pre-launch, at least 30%, 40% money was coming just like flowing, and just they could able to take the projects and went on. Now, definitely, this is not going to be the and when this kind of situation the industry moves, we need to have some 15-20% with us, then you start the project, then only I think that is a good strategy now going forward to be adopted. And develop your own investors who can initially come, and not like a pre-launch. See, pre-launch is very different and investors are very different. Pre-launch is more of individual money who put lot of hard work money and individual money with a lot of expectation and everything. Investors are very different. Investors can take the risk and they understand what is that they are putting. So you develop the alternative mechanism, the investors, that is a one good point. And the best is that what he mentioned is that communicate with your all the stakeholders. See, whenever the problem comes in family, we'll discuss with the family members what is that, and they give inputs and everything, and everyone is mentally prepared what is going on. So unless you don't communicate with the stakeholders, like be with the customers, be with vendors, be with your landowners, anybody, open communication helps. Maybe initially it is a bitter, but definitely over a period of time it helps and builds a brand again. So next, I think definitely is going to be a challenging time, but not like this gives you a lot of opportunity. As you mentioned, one important thing that cut the cost. This is the right time to throw out the inefficiency from the system. Any downtime will will force you think in a very different way, which you earlier not think, because of all the positive you could not have seen the negatives or maybe inefficiency in the system. This is the right time to, even if you discuss with the employees, they may also understand your advertisement cost, your administration cost, all those things need to be looked into that, and get prepared. And next for 6 months, 1 year, it may be going to be, as you mentioned rightly, that couple of things are I also heard that this is a market was looking for a correction, because as you mentioned that 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, no industry can successfully on a growth trajectory. So they need some correction. This is a correction which has come, and naturally 2-3 incident has come which is what you call helped or maybe engulfed that what you call negative to more scale. So that is what I think could able to summarize from this session. And thank you once again for a wonderful session, and a big round of applause to Sunil Chandra Reddy garu.
Thank you.